Hey everyone! Today, we will do the second slide of our presentation from the last video menu section about us. We will also add the ability to navigate between menu sections, even in PDF format. For example, if you want to send the layout of your future website for approval by the customer, but he does not have PowerPoint installed and it is possible to view only PDF files, we'll try to get it done in 20 minutes. Challenge accepted. Let's get started. Let's duplicate our first slide. To do this, we right-click on the thumbnail and select Duplicate Slide. Delete our image. We put these elements aside for now. We'll need them later. Now we change the title of our slide. To do this, click on the text block with the left mouse button, select everything with the Ctrl+A key combination and delete it. Now writing here the best creative agency since 1988. Let's fill this area below the title with a short biography of our creative agency. To do this, open a search engine and enter the query Creative Agency New York in the search box. Select any link you like. Then go to the About Us section and copy all this text with the Ctrl+C key combination into our presentation. We left-click on our text block. Select the text with the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+A and now with the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+V paste the copied text from the site. Press Ctrl and select Keep Text only to apply our style to the pasted text. Now, holding down the left mouse button, we reduce the borders of our text block to the borders of the slide. Holding down the left mouse button and shift so that the block moves vertically without retreat, we lower our text block below our heading. Excellent! Now let's add a button to our slide that says Learn More, which will take us to a page with more detailed information about our creative agency or achievements. To do this, we transfer Finished button from the previous slide and align the left border with the guides. For now, we remove decorative elements down to make it easier to edit our button. We left-click on our text block. Select all the text with the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+A and write Learn More. Ungroup our block with the Shift-Ctrl+G key combination and now holding down the left mouse button and shift so that the block moves horizontally without deviations. We move our text block closer to the left edge of the button so that we have free space on the right. Here we will draw an arrow pointing down. To do this, on the panel drowning select the element line. We draw a regular line. Right-click on it and select Format Shape from the menu. In the properties set the thickness to 1.25. Also, let's make it have rounded edges. For this, in the cap type item, select the value round. Now holding down the left mouse button and Ctrl+Shift, copy line. In the format menu, select the item rotate them rotate right 90 degrees to rotate our line. Move the line, and select both with the left mouse button. Now press Ctrl+G to group them. Repaint it in white. In the Format menu, select the Rotate item, then More Rotation options and write the value -45 degrees. Now reduce the size of the arrow with the left mouse button while holding down the Shift key and drag it into place. Reduce the size of the arrow a little more. Excellent! Let's group our decorative elements. Select them with the left mouse button and press the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+G. We remove them to the side to make room for our image. Let's raise our text blocks to the top. To do this, select them with the left mouse button and drag them with the Shift key pressed. Excellent! Now let's take a look at the image. To do this, like last time, we go to the freepik.com website and write Business Team in the search box. Choosing a free license. And looking for a photo that you like. I really like this one. I click on the download button, choose the original size here. Do not forget to specify the attributes of the downloaded images. Next, I drag it to our slide. Let's scale down our image. To maintain proportions, hold down the Shift key and drag the corner with the left mouse button. Let's reduce our photo a little more and place it here. I want to change the shape of this photo. Make it creative, trendy and interesting. To do this, we will use the site blobmaker.app. This is a site for generating arbitrary shapes. It has two options. The first is the number of nodes in your figure. And the second is its shape, smoother or vice versa with sharp corners. Select the required parameters and click on the Create button. Great, I like this figure. I click the Download button and drag it to our slide. To continue working with it, I right-click on it and select the Convert to Shape option, then click OK. Now, for convenience, we will set the transparency parameter to a higher value in order to see our figure in photo. I stretch it and adjust the shape to fit our image. Now let's enlarge the photo a bit. And we will transfer our figure to the area of interest. Select the photo, hold down the Shift key, select our shape and in the Format menu in the Merge Shapes panel, click on the Intersect parameter. With the left mouse button, drag the resulting image into place. To adjust the image, I right-click on it and select the Crop option. Now we can adjust the photo inside the shape. I increase it with the Shift key held down to maintain proportions and move it a little. To exit edit mode, left-click on an empty area behind the photo. Excellent. Let's generate another shape. Again, we go to the site blobmaker.app and click on the Create button. I click the Download button and drag it to our slide. I right-click on it and select the Convert to Shape option, then click OK. For convenience, set the transparency parameter to a higher value, and change the color of the shape. Now stretch our shape and rotate as we like. In the Format menu, select the Send Backward option. Let's resize it a bit more. Now let's return the transparency parameter to 0. Our shape has two wide margins that go beyond the borders of the photo. Let's scale it down a little. Excellent. Let's look at the result. I like the resulting slide. Now it is necessary to change the menu items. To do this, I left-click on the text block, select it with the Ctrl+A key combination, and now with the Ctrl+Shift+C key combination, copying its style. I recolor the text block in white color. Now, with the Shift key held down, I move our line under the corresponding menu block and stretch it with the left mouse button. Now I left-click on the Home menu. Select the text with the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+A and the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+Shift+V. Apply the previously copied style. Super! I think we have two empty lower left corner. Let's add a decorative element there. To do this, on the panel drawing I select the element rectangle. We draw an arbitrary rectangle. I choose the value no fill for it. The line thickness is 125. I change it a little and leave it here. Let's see how our presentation looks now. Great, I like what we did. Now, as I said at the beginning of our video, we will add the ability to navigate between menu sections, even in PDF format. For example, if your customer has the ability to view only PDF files. To do this, on the panel drawing we select any shape. I'll take a rounded rectangle and draw two shapes on top of our menu items. Let's select the no line parameter for them. We click on our figure with the right mouse button and select the item hyperlink. Then in the link to section, select the place in this document item and set it to slide 1. For the second figure, we perform the same operations, right-click and select hyperlink. Then, in the link to section, select the place in this document item, but only set it to slide 2. Now select the first shape and use the Ctrl+X keyboard shortcut to cut it out of our slide. Go to slide 2 and use the Ctrl+V key combination to paste it on top of the menu item. We select for it the parameter no fill. We go to the first slide, select our second shape with the left mouse button and also select the no fill parameter for it. Okay, now let's check how it will work. Run the presentation with the F5 key. We left click on the menu item About Us and go to the second slide. Now click on the menu item Home and return to the first page. So, I want to reduce the font that is located on our button. Let's adjust it. I left click on a text block. Using the Ctrl+A key combination, I select all the text and set the height to 14. Now we will reduce our arrow. For this I hold down the Shift key and drag the corner of the element. Realigning the elements on the button. Either way, we can also make this button interactive. To do this, on the panel drawing select a rectangle with rounded edges and draw over the button. We click on our figure with the right mouse button and select the item hyperlink. Then, in the link to section, select the existing file or web page item and in the address field enter the name of our site, where you can read additional information. For example, I will point to google.com. I click OK. Select the options no line and no fill. And start the presentation with the F5 key. We check again the transition between slides when clicking on the menu items. And when you hover over the button, a menu appears about the transition to the google.com website. You can also make an element to switch not to the entire button, but only to that part of it where the arrow is located, and for example, organize a transition to a slide that will contain more detailed information about the company, work performed and other information. So, friends, today we have made the second page of our presentation. We learned about the site blobmaker.app for generating arbitrary shapes. And we set up interactive navigation that will work even when exporting our presentation in PDF format, which is very convenient when coordinating the layout with the customer without additional effort on his part. If this is your first time on this channel, make sure you subscribe, share with your friends and don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notified. Well done for watching this video to the end. Hope to see you in the next video and thanks for watching.